Hey there, amplifiers. At the end of the day, we want to build a business that is awesome, that rocks. But behind every great business are numbers, numbers that tell a story of things that are going great, and also stories of things that could be doing better, and sometimes just an awareness of where we're going. There's a lot that could be told behind the facade of the business. And our guest today is a business financial strategist that really has a lot of knowledge and expertise when it comes to looking at the numbers and making sure that they're telling the story as reality is. So I'd like to welcome to Growth Amplifiers today, Debbi Allison, who is a business financial strategist. And she's also a thought leader in the space when it comes to financial consulting. She's the owner of Open Book Consulting. And without further ado, Debbi, welcome to Growth Amplifiers.
Hi, Kenny. Thank you for the introduction. I'm Debbi Allison with Open Book Consulting, and I am a business financial strategist, which is a fancy way of saying I empower entrepreneurs to understand their numbers in order to make better decisions and have a more fulfilling work and life. I mean, I really think it's harmony more than anything else than balance. Although we hear balance an awful lot nowadays, and balance is good. I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit today about how important it is to know your numbers. A lot of times people only know their numbers once a year at the end of the year when they're talking to their tax person. And in reality, if you actually are using proactive bookkeeping skills, you can know your numbers monthly, weekly, sometimes even daily. And that information can be extremely powerful to your business. We really need to go back and look at numbers, not just for compliance purposes, not for just taxes, but actually as a way to make strategic decisions. And when it comes to strategy, we actually have to start to go back to the basics. So many people go, oh my gosh, analytics, strategy, this stuff is like complex and crazy, and it really doesn't have to be. It really can be simple. As a business owner, you're a specialist in what you do, and you need to become a specialist in how your money can help you do what you do better. And that's really what business financial strategy is about, is learning how to use that money in order to have it work for your business, just like you do every day. So I also want, oh, go ahead, Kenny.
Oh, so I hear the term, know your numbers. And I know somebody can open up their QuickBooks and they say like, I kind of see where my numbers are. And I know what money's coming in and what money's going out. And I have a general idea of where my numbers are. I'm good to go, aren't I? What might you tell someone that kind of thinks that, yeah, I kind of know where my numbers are?
Well, first of all, the fact that you're cracking your QuickBooks open and actually looking at your numbers, you're far above most business owners. A lot of people don't even take the time to actually go in there and run the reports more than once a year or once a quarter, or they're just looking at the profit and loss and not actually paying attention to the balance sheet. You actually have a huge amount of information in there that usually isn't utilized because people are only looking at it sporadically and think, oh, all I need to worry about is this net profit number. When in reality, how do you know if you're growing your revenues? How do you know how much you spend on a customer? How do you know how much you're spending on advertising or office supplies? These things can add up, and actually watching these things on a weekly or even a daily basis. Daily is probably too often for most people. They tend to freak out, get a little obsessive. It's like watching the stock market. Don't watch it daily. Long-term is the plan. Well, with your business, really you want to watch it at least weekly. So opening it up, taking a look at it, seeing what's going on in there is a really great idea. But then you want to actually apply some thought to the process. Why did you spend the money the way you spent it? And are you earning your money as efficiently as you could be earning it? And when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, what are you really able to walk off with? What's the end plan for your business? Are you building it to succeed and grow it? Or are you building it so that you can pass it on as legacy to one of your children or to another business partner? Or is it something that you're in because you just want to build it for the next 10 years and be able to just move forward with something else? And not every entrepreneur is actually in business for themselves. Sometimes they're in business for a cause. And it's important to understand the difference. Are you mission oriented or are you money oriented? And how does that really affect how you treat your money? Your numbers actually can give you a lot of these answers. It's sort of funny when I look at somebody's numbers. I love people. I love relationships. I love what the number tells me about those people. When I look at their numbers, I can actually see where are their priorities? What do they care about? What do they want out of life? And their numbers can tell me a lot of that, even if they don't know it themselves. It's just a matter of taking the time to get down and be actual practical, fundamental, understanding, and explore some thought in those numbers. Why do you do what you do?
So some people can get overwhelmed. They see this big spreadsheet. There's all these different numbers they could be paying attention to, and they don't know really. They're like, I don't really have the time to figure all this stuff out, or I can't really. I just don't have time to work on these things. How somebody who's in that position, they feel like they're too busy to really look at their numbers and be strategic about it. What might be a starting point for them to consider?
Well, number one, just get in there, just look, start noticing the patterns, but don't take more than 5 to 10 minutes if that's the case. Just peek in there, make time, actually block it out in your calendar and take at least 5 to 10 minutes to actually go in and look at your reports, and not just the profit and loss, also look at the balance sheet or the statement of cash flows. But take the time to actually get in there and start understanding what's happening with your business, but choose a few key metrics that you want to watch. You don't have to watch everything. Too many people say, oh, it's got to be all or nothing. And in reality, choose 2 or 3 things in the beginning that really excite you and then make you want to know. A lot of people will choose their net profit. That's an easy one. What's hitting the bottom line? Are you actually getting any money to the bottom? Another one of my favorites is your gross profit margin. I really like being able to see what actual money is getting down into operations and how much are you spending on operations. 1 second. But the other thing that you can do is choose something that you want to work on. If you want to grow your revenues by 5%, then watch your revenues. Actually start mapping out and watching your revenues, even if you're just going in and noting them or using the software to do a comparative analysis for you, which if you have the plus version or higher of QuickBooks Online, you definitely have some analysis tools in there that most people don't know about. But another option then is to go ahead and use a graph sheet. Just go ahead and get a piece of paper. This is a rocket book, so we're not killing a tree. But go ahead and write down what you notice about your numbers. The little things, like if you want to grow revenues, let's write down the number each day for the next 3 months while you're doing that 90-day goal to grow your revenues 5%. And let's see if you made it over the previous time period of actually increasing by 5%. Just choose 2 or 3 key performance indicators, metrics, as we like to call them, and keep measuring them, keep track of them, watch what they do for you. If the other side of it is know that you can trust your numbers. All too often, I talk to owners of companies that they only do their books once a quarter. Well, by the time you're reacting to your numbers, you're a little bit late to pivot. So you need to know your numbers in real time. So it really is worthwhile to do some proactive bookkeeping, actually get in there, enter your accounts payable, enter your invoicing, know what money you can expect to spend in the future and what money you're going to have coming in. So another really good number to watch is your accounts payable and your accounts receivable balances and how quickly those balances are going up and down, or even just your bank balance. Watch your bank balance. At the end of each month, are you ending up with more money than you had the previous month or less money? If you're ending up with less money consistently month after month, you got a cash flow problem. Now, figuring out what it is, figuring out where that leak is going to take a little more digging. But more often than not, if you don't pay attention to those numbers, you won't know it's happening until you're 6 months to a year down the road and desperate. And we'd rather not be desperate, especially given the recent economic times we've had.
I completely concur. You don't want to be desperate. You start reaching for straw, you can actually tumble your own business. And that's not a positive thing. Just by getting some awareness, taking the first step of just being aware. And then I really like your suggestion of just picking 1 to 3 things just to focus on initially. And just being more mindful about it. And when you have awareness, what you focus on grows. So for people who are tuning in and thinking, wow, Debbi really knows her stuff and she's very insightful, how could they learn more about you and your business?
Well, they can find me at openbookpros.com, openbookpros.com. And I'm actually going to say, instead of learning more about me, I want you to learn more about your own bookkeeper that's in your business today. Because as much as I can help you, the truth is we need clean numbers before any of them will make a difference. While that is a service my company does provide, it is not our primary focus. Our primary focus is using those clean numbers to help your business go the direction it wants to go and empowering you to understand how to do that. But if you go talk to your bookkeeper that's already working for you and already doing the work, I will bet, just sit down and have a conversation with them. They know more about what's going on in your business than you may realize. They're the ones that are actually engaged with those numbers on a monthly or weekly basis. And they may have some observations that save you the time from having to go and dig, because they may have already noticed something. It's just a matter of asking the right questions.
I love it. You got to get awareness. Make sure that if your bookkeeper, you're having a good conversation there, and ask questions. If you don't ask, sometimes they're not going to know. And just by getting some insights and being proactive about that, can really open up a blind side or bottleneck that you're unaware of, and can save you a lot of time and have a big impact on your business. So Debbie, thank you for visiting and contributing to Growth Amplifiers. We appreciate you and what you do. You have great energy and insights. I know you have a lot of great content on your website as well. So thank you very much for tuning in and sharing with us.
Thank you, Kenny. I appreciate the opportunity.
To show your support, take a moment to amplify this message by sharing it online. To connect with me or gain more business growth insights, visit www.growthamplifiers.com. Thank you for your support.